lovely friends. My name is Jenna, but you guys can call me Jenna. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the start of another weekend vlog. Hi, it is 1 a.m. That's why that introduction wasn't as energetic as usual, but I forgot to start the vlog before I went to my friend's house. So I went to my friend Sophie's house for dinner, and I ended up coming home at like 11ish, and then I finished a book because I have book club tomorrow. I ended up finishing Honey and Spice by Bolu Babalola, and this was an absolute utter delight. But I will talk about it tomorrow more when I wrap my mind around it. But yeah, what a lovely read. Oh my god. I'm collecting myself because I have to go to bed because I have my piano lesson in the morning, and I've been having the worst sleeps all week and completely sleeping through my alarm all week. So I can't do that tomorrow because I will miss my lesson otherwise. So we're going to set 8 alarms 1 minute from each other so I get up. Anyways, I also got these in the mail today from Amazon. They are like compression gloves for like arthritis, I think is their main thing, but I've seen a lot of writers talk about the pain in their wrists and their hands, and also crocheters and like any hand fiber artists. So, and I've been dealing with wrist problems and hand problems my whole life. Broke this hand in 2020, so like it's been a time. So I figured might as well get some of these to help, and boy oh boy has this like immediately made my hands feel so comfortable and so happy. So we're gonna see if they do help the like for typing and stuff, because I do find like even editing videos hurts my wrists. So if I type for too long or if I write for too long, it just hurts. So hopefully these will help a little bit. And because I have bad hand health from playing piano for 21 years, and so that's what these are for. Anyways, hi. I currently have nothing that I am currently reading because I just finished Honey and Spice, but I have a bunch of books that I'm really excited to read. So this weekend's gonna be a fun time. I'm leaning towards some sci-fi, potentially this one. This is, there you go, you can see it, the Stars Undying. Potentially that one, potentially some more N.K. Jemisin. I have that on the go, but we're gonna see what I end up reading. I also went to the library today and I picked up 2 books that I'm very excited to read. We have What You Gonna Do by Avery Flynn, which I put on hold simply because the cover is adorable and the girl on the cover has the fashion that I want. And I'm kind of in a romance kick now because of Honey and Spice, so maybe I'll do that. And then I also have Sword Heart by T. Kingfisher, which apparently is kind of like cozy fantasy adjacent, so I have those 2 that I could possibly read, or all of the books that are on my March TBR that I could read. But yeah, me a good weekend. Other than book club tomorrow, I have really nothing planned except for my regular live stream, and we're gonna get some work done on A Second Story because I haven't worked on it most of the week because I was hit with the inspiration bug for Aramount Book 3, which is very exciting, but it also just consumed my entire life and didn't let me go. So I will tell you more about that tomorrow. But yeah, it's the start of a weekend. Welcome to the vlog. Let's get this started. My lovely friends, happy Saturday. I am here. We are having a blizzard. Starting to. I mean, it's been starting for the past couple hours, but it's giving her outside right now, and I wouldn't want to be on the road. But I just finished my live stream. It was lovely as always. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me on those. I love talking to y'all. I love hearing about your projects and everything. I got through a couple more chapters of A Second Story, which I'm going to continue doing, but I really want to shower right now because I feel kind of gross. So I'm going to shower. I'm gonna get in some cozies because I'm currently still in like leggings. And I'm gonna get back on the couch and continue working on A Second Story because I have nothing else to do today. I'm gonna cook dinner at some point. Ooh, speaking of dinner, I need to take the meat out of the freezer. Oh, whoa, forgot about that. Anyways, that's what I'm doing for dinner. Yeah, today when I got home from my lesson this morning, had book club with my friends. Pretty solid 3 to 4 stars across the board. People really liked it. We had a good conversation about like romance books and stuff. Very lovely. And it was generally like a well-received book because it was kind of happy and joyful to be around. It was a lovely read. Honey and Spice is so good. I really enjoyed it. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I don't think I told you that yesterday, but yeah, it was so lovely and so joyful and funny. There were some darker themes, like one of the guys on campus is like part of like KKK or like the Hitler Youth on campus. It's wild. So there's a bit of racism. There's also mention of sexual assault and non-consensual pornography or sharing of photos of girls, all the same guy, of course. But yeah, so there's that today. And then I started reading The Stars Undying by Emery Robin. This is a very high sci-fi, and I'm having some fun. Like, the audiobook is low-key not good. The two narrators that they have are like not super engaging overall. They're kind of boring to listen to, but I'm liking it so far. And I'm very intrigued. I'm only like 50 pages in barely. So I'm going to keep reading this. But I did end up, because one, there's no glossary in this book. And there's also no map, which I'm very irritated about because there's so many places that are mentioned. I understand it's sci-fi, so like they're talking about planets too. But the fact that they don't have like some kind of a map or like a glossary at all to keep things straight is bothering me, because there's so many A names and then there's so many places with C names. I'm just baffled. But yes, I'm making my own. I have like my own at the beginning of the book. I have people that are mentioned and then places that are mentioned, because I feel like that's a good way to do things and keep yourself straight. And as I like learn who things are, who people are and who places are, like, and how they're important, I will like make little notes to myself in a different color. I did that with Malice and Valor, actually. When I was reading them, I put them in the back because there were so many different like points of view. In my Malice book, I have in the back here on the back cover like a list of people and who they were, because there was just so many people and things happening. And Valor as well, which actually really helped, because when I started into reading Valor, I needed to reference back to Malice to like see who people were. So helps to write things in your books. Anyways, I'm gonna go shower and then I'm gonna settle myself back on my couch for a little bit, watch the snow just blow off my roof. It looks worse than it is because it's like literally gusting off the roof and making it look more blizzardy than it is. But we're getting some good snow, friends. We're getting some good snow. Yes, it's been a good Saturday so far. Hello, my lovely friends. It is now much later. I didn't realize that tonight was also daylight savings time. We're jumping forward. It means we're losing an hour, and I'm so mad about it because I wanted to just stay up and edit a second story like all night kind of a thing. And then I was like, I can't do that because I'm losing an hour tomorrow. Not that I have to be anywhere tomorrow, but I just don't want to sleep until noon. You know, I want to actually do something tomorrow, like get up and read or write more, because I'm just in this zone with editing for a second story. It's great. Today, since I last talked to you, I ended up actually starting one of the library books that I got, What You Gonna Do by Avery Flynn. And like, I was so sucked in by this adorable cover because I want to be this girl. I want to be her. And I DNF'd it 37 pages in because it is trying so hard. The writing is trying so hard to be quirky and quippy and millennial and like fancy and me. And there's been a few instances where I settled into it and I was like, okay, this is not bad. But there's been a few words and sentences and phrases that the male love interest has said that have immediately felt like a slap to the face, just because of how I don't know. I think the word is crass. Like, I don't mind like a lot of that kind of language normally, but just in some instances it just felt crass in this book. It was weird. And like the relationship between the two of them is already kind of established beforehand. Like there's already tension there that we have not experienced as readers, and we are just supposed to like accept it. But yeah, so I got to a certain point and then I looked at Goodreads and it's like universally hated. So, and for the same reasons, like people are talking about how it opens. So if you want to go look at some interesting reviews, go look at the reviews for that book. But it might be for you. You might love this kind of like quippy fun. And I thought I was gonna love it, but I found it to be too much after 37 pages. So if I'm gonna read a 300-page book and it's already too much at 37 pages, what am I doing? So I put that down. And then I read a little bit more of Stars Undying by Emery Robin. I'm currently on page 79, chapter 8. And I'm treating this like a study. I'm not letting myself listen to an audiobook super quickly, because I would be reading it this at like 3 times speed if I could, because that's just how I am as a reader. Now I found I'm listening to it, I think at 2.5 speed, which is like reasonable and not actually fast for me. It sounds like normal talking speed to my brain now. So yeah, I'm listening to that and I'm like highlighting, understanding, and leaving and making a glossary for myself, as I explained earlier. But yeah, I'm enjoying that one so far. I'm hoping I can really sink into that one, because I've looked at some reviews, and one of the girls that I follow on TikTok, I think her name is Samantha. I can't remember her handle on TikTok, but she loved this book and like says it's one of the best books that she's ever read, which I love to see. We love to see it. And she like talked about how she loves interesting narrative styles like The Locked Tomb and The Fifth Season. And so I was like, okay, I'm into it. As so far, there's not really an interesting narrative style. It's just first person between two different people, the two different points of view. So I'm thinking, and she also mentioned that one of them was an unreliable narrator. So I think that's what it is. So I'm really intrigued to see where this goes. It is heavily political and sci-fi-y. And I've kind of realized when there isn't a map, it's because it's a galaxy. It's not just a like fantasy map kind of a thing. But there are so many words. And in like the main character, the girl main character, Altagracia, I think her name is. I can't really remember. She's called a couple different things by different people. But her like lineage and her family are all sea names. And it is so hard to keep them lined up. It's very difficult. So that's why I'm making a glossary for myself. Because I am enjoying it enough to keep going, obviously. That's that. But yes, I ended up spending the evening after reaching page 79 of that. I ended up deciding to pick A Second Story back up and keep going with that. I'm now partway through. It's gonna be fun for you to see me in a second. Well, not too bad because of that light, but down here it's dark. Picked up A Second Story again, and I'm now halfway through part 3, I think, which is exciting. And I hope that I can keep going tomorrow. And it actually ended up being a like, I was sitting with A Second Story on my lap for some of Critical Role because I was watching some Critical Role. I ended up doing my entire acknowledgements. I had made like a list previously of like what I wanted to do for all my acknowledgements, who I wanted to like thank and whatever, and like written a little bit of it, but I went back through and actually made it like the proper acknowledgements. And then I started it on my glossary because today I actually pitched a question to Instagram, which made me more confused as to what I want to do. But then I ended up asking my friends and they have clarified it for me. So I asked Instagram, like, where in a book do you prefer a glossary to be? Do you prefer it to be at the beginning of a book or at the end of a book? And like every single answer came in was so valid. Like people were like, I like it at the front of the book because if it's at the back of the book, I won't notice until I'm done the story and then it's useless to me. Or people are like, I like it at the back of the book because then it that's where like references go and it just makes more sense to flip forward to find those things and it just feels natural. And then I won't get spoiled for anything if I don't want to look at it. But then there's the people who want it at the front of the book because when they flip to the back, they can be spoiled for stuff, right? Because if you're flipping to try find the glossary, sometimes you like will catch things in the story that you don't want to see and all this kind of stuff. So I was sitting there, I was like, all of you are making such good points and I don't know where to put the glossary in my book now because there is going to be a glossary. There's going to be a glossary. I wasn't going to do like a character glossary, but I'm going to do a list of characters with like pronunciation, I guess, maybe, and like who they are. Just kind of like a quick little thing. So like there's a cast of characters in the book and then the glossary of terms because I noticed this when I was originally doing the first pass of beta readers. One of my beta readers came back and didn't know what like some of the magic terms were. And I was immediately like, oh my God, this is just D&D. And I think that in my head, everybody knows what D&D is. So I'm like, at that point, I was like, oh my God, I have to put a glossary in this so that like people who may not understand D&D magic can understand my story or like, you know, if they want to know what it means or know what like some people are. So there's a description in the back of the book now, which is fun. I just answered my question. I ended up asking some of my friends. I sent it into one of my group chats where like I know those people read fantasy and sci-fi and they're very versed in D&D and stuff. And I was like, where do you prefer the glossary of like book stuff? And my the one guy who answered, he was like, okay, if it's something that like is just additional to the text, you can put it at the front. But if it's something that's actually like concrete and like has a lot of like meaning to it, like the Dune glossary, that is something that he was like, the Dune glossary was something that I referenced all the time because I just had no idea what was going on. And I'm like, so valid. He's like, put it at the back. It's best to probably put it at the back. And then I explained what my glossary was and he was like, yeah, best to probably put it at the back. And I have a table of contents as well in my book that's going to be up because I have chapter names. So it's going to say on the table of contents that there is a glossary. So hopefully people catch that. And hopefully enough of you have watched my videos. Is a glossary. It's gonna be in the back of the book. Now I just have to decide whether I want to put that before my acknowledgements or after my acknowledgements. I gotta look at how other people do it in books. The things you have to think about. As I'm editing, I keep finding more things that I add then to the glossary because I'm like, people won't know what this is. I know what it is because I watch too much Critical Role, but nobody else will unless they know D&D. So I gotta add it to the freaking glossary. I should have kept that for my writing video, my writing vlog that I have going up. That'll be going up probably at the end of the month. Yeah, I love it. And I really just want to be editing it more. But it is already 1:30 and the clock's jumped forward, so it's technically 2:30. So I really need to be sleeping right now. So that's what I'm gonna do. Tomorrow's Sunday already. But yeah, I'll chat with you tomorrow. My darling friends, happy Sunday. It's already like 10:30 p.m. I've had a good Sunday. It's been pretty chill. I've gotten a fair bit of work done on A Second Story. We love that. We love that. I haven't read it all today, but I'm going to park it now and do so. Daylight savings time totally wrecked my day. It made me so tired for no reason at all. So hopefully I can go to bed at a reasonable time tonight and do that. But I also low-key want to watch an episode of The Last of Us because I haven't all week. Do that. I need to catch up on my, like, one of my favorite shows now. I'm sitting in episode 5 or 6. I can't remember how many I've watched. Anyways, it's been a while. In the meantime, I just got off of Amy's stream at about 10, and then I did a little bit more work on A Second Story, but my eyes are hurting from looking at a screen. So I am going to read a little bit and continue reading The Stars Undying by Emery Robin, and we'll see how this goes. I'm not like in a super huge reading mood, but I do want to keep going with this. So we'll see how far I do get. But yes, that's what I'm doing. Today's been lovely. Yeah, I've been working pretty much exclusively on A Second Story today, and on the TV I've had either Critical Role, which is what's on now, or Holly's game channel. She's playing through Medium right now, which is a indie horror game, which is low-key spooky, but she's really funny, so it makes it easier to watch. I love her commentary as she goes through things. So that was really fun today, and did a lot of work on A Second Story. I've been like just plugging along. I'm now in part 4. I'm just zooming along. Love to finish this draft 4 edit tomorrow or Tuesday, and then immediately start back in and start reading it through. And I think my second read through is going to be audible through my mouth. I'm going to read it out loud, but you guys will get more details in my writing vlog that'll go up. That will be going up sometime before the end of March. But yes, oh, I realized it's 8 weeks away that A Second Story is coming out, which is insane. Also, don't know if I've said this in a video. I think I said it at the end of my Friends Pick My TBR video, but A Second Story is now up on Goodreads for you guys to add to your want to read list, which is very exciting. So please go at it. There's a link in the description. If you're a Storygraph user, there's a link in the description for that one as well. So go at it. Add that shit to your want to read list. Please, please, please. Go run so that, you know, it's there. You add it to your want to reads, and the more people who add it, the better for me. So very excited about that. But yeah, gosh, it feels like I still have so much time, but also no time at all to get everything ready and wrapped up. Like, whoo! Yes, anyways, I thought I'd update you and pop in and say, hey, Sunday's been great as always. I'm gonna read a little bit of the Stars Undying and kind of just chill for a bit. I will probably talk to you tomorrow for Monday. What a good weekend so far. Hello, my lovely friends. Happy Monday. Hi. I'm home. Just got back from teaching and I'm about to make dinner. Got my air fryer preheating. I got some water starting to boil on the stove. Things are crazy, but I'm gonna pop and say, hey, it's been an interesting day. What did I do today? Besides work, I ended up kind of figuring out a few things for book formatting specifically. Watched many videos and did a couple bits of research and stuff for book formatting because I was originally, for a second story, going to do a little bit of a backwards thing where I wanted to get Adobe InDesign but only do it for like a month of a subscription because they have like a subscription based service rather than a like one-time purchase. They don't have a one-time purchase Adobe. It's a like subscription service you pay for their suite or whatever. I was hoping that I had InDesign through work. I do not. We only have the like basic package with that kind of stuff. So I was gonna do a month, just a month of InDesign to like get all my formatting done and do that. But I was thinking about it today and I was just like, InDesign doesn't seem very like person friendly if you're not a graphic designer. If you're not a graphic designer, if you're not trained on InDesign, it seems a little bit like a steep learning curve. And it's not just for book formatting. Like you can easily do it in book formatting. I watched a video on it, but I was like, maybe not. And then I watched a couple videos for vellum because that seems to be like numero uno in the book formatting world, but it makes me mad that it is so expensive. Like it's so expensive I can't even justify buying it. So I was looking at its competitor, Atticus, and I think that's what I'm gonna go with. I was worried because I noticed that in one of their videos and on their website, they say that like having specific parts in your book is a feature that's coming soon. And I was like, well, I have parts in my book. So that is a deal breaker for me if I can't put parts in my book. I can separate it with parts. So like part 1 to 5 kind of a thing. So I was like, I found one of their videos on how to add parts in. So maybe that feature is just like talking about something else that they don't have yet. I'm not sure, but there's a way to add like section breaks for parts in a book. I think I'm gonna go the Atticus route. I'm not gonna get it quite yet because I'm not done editing this book, obviously. I'm gonna wait a little bit. And April is my formatting month, as I've said. So that's kind of what I've decided to do. I've decided to do the one-time purchase of, I think it's $200 Canadian. I converted the 147 US to Canadian, and it's a one-time purchase, expensive at the top, but I can use it for literally the rest of the books that I will ever write ever. So that's exciting. And I'm so amped to get into the creative phase. I've also watched a video on like creating specific chapter headings in Canva. So your girl's gonna go on like a rabbit hole of possibly doing her own drawings in Procreate and adding them into Canva and like doing chapter headings like that and doing little images for the parts. And I have ideas. I have ideas and I'm very excited to kind of do that. But that's what I've been doing today. Anyways, it's been a wonderful weekend. I didn't get a whole lot read this weekend. I did finish Honey and Spice on Friday, which was for book club on Saturday, which I ended up giving 4 stars. And I did read a fair bit of the Stars Undying, which is a epic sci-fi by Emery Robin, based on Cleopatra? Is that who it is? I think that's the woman in here. Cleopatra and Julius Caesar? Yep. The, like, inspired by ancient Rome and Egypt, the ancient lives of Cleopatra and Julius Caesar, but it is sci-fi, so it's really cool. I'm really enjoying this so far. I'm not, like, super attached to the characters, but I'm trying to really, really pay attention to it, as I explained earlier in this vlog. But I'm on, like, page 160 or something, or just under that. That's been the weekend so far. Or it's not so far. That was the weekend. It is Monday. But yes, my friends, I think I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. So I will catch you in another video very soon. Ooh, the next episode of The Shared Shelf, my podcast, is going up on Wednesday for you guys, the 15th of March. And it is featuring my lovely friend and fellow author, Sarah Sutton. So get ready for that chat because it is wonderful. It's like an hour and 47 minutes long of just wonderful conversations. So I'm so excited to show that to you guys and put that out there. But you'll see that from me on Wednesday, and then I believe another video is going up on Friday. I have no idea what it's gonna be yet, but there will be something. Anyways, my friends, stay kind and keep on reading.